My son, they had one car that he bought. So she would have a car for her and these children.
He was able to buy that car because he claimed me and my child on his tax.
But it don't do no good if you don't work, stay on welfare and food stamps.
You know,
All right.
When I got back home, within those first week or two, we had sex like 4 or 5 times a day.
So you had it in your mind that if I get my wife pregnant, she'll stop stripping.
Kind of like how she just said, I'm gonna strip and I'm gonna do whatever I want because that's what I'm gonna do. I said, oh really? Okay, I'll give you a 9-month break on me. I mean, so.
Things kicked off wild, and it only got crazier from there. She's certain his denial is all because of his girlfriend's influence. This sounds simple, but trust me, it's anything but.
Ms. Caples, you say you are 100% certain that the defendant is your 15-month-old son, Jason's biological father, and today he's going to put his name on the dotted line right in front of his girlfriend.
The relationship status was about as confusing as it could get. You'd think things would be easy after that, but wait till you hear what's next.
What was the nature of this relationship?
To be completely honest, Your Honor, me and Mr. Harris, we were never in a relationship. Let's clarify that now. We were just sleeping together. That's pretty much it.
Were you in another relationship?
No,
I was not, no.
I wasn't.
You find out you're pregnant. Obviously, you weren't using protection if there's a question that he's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
And right when you thought you'd figured it out, another guy pops into the story. Miss Caples admits she did date someone else, but it was after she got pregnant with Jason. This timeline is all over the place.
So who's this other guy that was in the picture?
After me and Mr. Harris were done and over with.
You were already pregnant at the point you started dating the other man?
Correct. And I have an exhibit if I could show you.
Absolutely. Please step over to the podium.
Thank you. As you can see, my son Jason was born January 9th, 2016. Me and Mr. Harris were intimate for 9 months, all the way up until May, the beginning of May.
If you thought things were weird before, now it's exhibit a time. But Mr. Harris is like, maybe? Since he was apparently seeing other women too and doesn't remember the exact dates. I mean, could this case get any messier?
Mr. Harris, if you don't remember whether or not you were with her, is it because you were involved more than one woman? So that's why you really can't say for certain who you were with on what date. Now, Ms. Caples, I have to ask you, were you involved with more than one man?
No, I was not, and he did not tell me that he was dealing with other women while me and him were talking. So I did not know that he was playing the
Men usually don't tell you. They want to keep
She
getting
went through my phone and texted other women back.
This part, total shocker. Just when you think you've heard it all, the story somehow gets even more awkward.
When we contacted Mr. Harris and told him that Ms. Shatera Caples summoned him for a DNA test, he said, I don't know who you're talking about. I said, Muffin?
That is correct.
I'm pretty sure I told him my name. Would you remember Shantira or would you remember Muffin? Would I go by around town?
If you having sex for that many months with the same person without using any protection, you gotta at least know their name.
Just when it seems like it can't get worse, we learn Mr. Harris wasn't there when Jason was born. You'd think things couldn't get more uncomfortable, but oh, they do.
Did he get to come to the delivery room?
He didn't have a ride, Your Honor.
He didn't have a ride?
Have a ride.
No, I was at the work when she delivered the baby. The next morning I came up there and I looked at him. He didn't look like me at all.
No, he does
and
not.
I had my doubt. I had been had my doubts, but like I say, everybody around town says that she goes around saying it's another guy's baby.
Did you sign the birth certificate?
No, I did not.
Because you did not want to, or you were not even asked?
And here's where the cringe hits max level, as if things weren't heated enough already.
Hold on, what is this about the hospital room, Ms. Caples?
She was undergoing surgery, getting ready to have my tubes tied.
That is my job.
Your Honor, as a woman, I would not want to be in a room with a woman that's having my boyfriend's baby.
Okay, so you were the patient. You work at the hospital, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then that was where they told you your station or where you were supposed to be? You were assigned to that?
Today, we got our stuff to do. Yes, ma'am.
Things got intense as Mr. Harris admits he wasn't so sure Jason was his son, thanks to rumors and Miss Caples' comments. Now, everyone's on edge to see if he's the dad or not.
Have I heard all your doubts, Mr. Harris?
A lot of people around town telling me it's not mine, and let's say that's her words.
People are telling you if he's not yours, then she even says he's not yours.
Keep pushing me away while I'm trying to be there for the child.
But you don't think
it's
he's
kind of
yours,
like
though.
he's not.
So why would I
That's
keep?
the
That's why I
reason
don't want
for
to
that.
include you.
That's the
One
reason
minute
for
you
that.
don't
I
think
don't
he's
believe-
yours.
All right, that's what we're here to solve today. That's exactly why this courtroom exists.
The moment finally arrived and the tension was through the roof. Judge Lake reads the DNA results. Mr. Harris is not Jason's father, but Judge Lake isn't done with them just yet. She's got some parting wisdom.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Harris, you are not the father.
Thank you.
This case kicks off with a wild claim. Ms. Bailey, along with her daughter, is suing Mr. Parker, her daughter's estranged husband, for a cool $3,691.50 in childcare costs. And believe me, it only gets crazier from here.
Ms. Bailey, you and your daughter are suing the defendant for $3,691.50 in childcare expenses. Mr. Parker is your daughter's estranged husband, and he denies paternity of your 4-month-old grandson. You claim he hasn't even given your daughter a single penny towards your grandson's expenses.
Here's where it starts getting juicy. Ms. Bailey says Mr. Parker ditched her daughter when she was 16 weeks pregnant, leaving her to fend for herself without any help. And trust me, the accusations only get weirder from here.
For my daughter or my grandson, he left her when she was 16 weeks pregnant, didn't look back, and he is living his life without responsibility. I'm the baby's father. I provide for the baby. He's living the way he wants to. And my daughter is going to college. She's working on her 2nd degree, not her first, but her 2nd degree.
Now things are heating up. Mr. Parker claims Ms. Bailey's daughter neglected him, saying she refused to feed him and made him feel worthless. And guess what? Drama's just getting started.
The last few days there, Your Honor, she told me that I wasn't worth nothing. I was not allowed to eat, that I was not allowed to be a part of this family.
That's a lie. He wanted her to cook separate meals besides the meal that she cooked for the family. He wanted special food, and in these days and time, that is very hard.
I wanted him to grow up instead of being a child like he was with grandparents and with his mother.
Just when you think it can't get any stranger, Mr. Parker claims Ms. Bailey's daughter put a padlock on their bedroom door to keep him out. But wait till you hear what Mr. Parker says next.
That's the lock on the bedroom door that I came home to one day.
You put a lock on your bedroom door?
I did.
Ms. Parker, why?
Because all the Christmas presents were in there, and I have an 8-year-old. I'm not going to let him go in there and see what he's getting for Christmas because he still believes in Santa.
Then why did when I asked you so I could go in there and go
You
in
didn't have anything left in there.
If you thought it couldn't get any wilder, Mr. Parker insists he was kept off the baby's birth certificate, which he says proves she's hiding something. And just when you think you've heard it all, Mr. Parker's mom steps in.
Are you two still married?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ooh.
It shows where I was not even registered as a father, and in my state, if you were married, you were supposed to be automatically be put on the birth certificate of the child.
You're presumed to be the father of any child born within your marriage.
And this is a federal document that shows that she lied to the doctors, lied to the hospital, and lied to me.
It's family drama time as Charlotte Perez, Mr. Parker's mom, testifies, accusing Ms. Bailey's daughter of leaving Mr. Parker at her house anytime she needed a break. Judge Lake's patience is about to be seriously tested.
My son, they had one car that he bought, so she would have a car for her and these children.
He was able to buy that car because he claimed me and my child on his tax.
But it don't do no good if you don't work, stay on welfare and food stamps.
You know
All right.
This whole scene has turned into pure chaos, and Judge Lake has had enough. You won't believe what's about to happen next.
Do you believe Zachariah is your son's child?
The way she did everything about this child's birth and the way she would get up and take off while he was trying to sleep, I don't really know. He don't need to be tied to her for 18 years. But if it is his child, we've already got a lawyer and paying it to file for custody.
Well, that's not going to happen.
It'll be a cold day in hell before y'all in custody of my child.
The big reveal is here, folks.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Parker.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are his father.
I told you.
Told you.
This whole thing kicks off with Ms. Richardson coming in strong, saying she and Mr. Smith were all in, trying to have a baby on purpose. Buckle up, folks. This one's gonna be a ride.
Ms. Richardson, you say you were in an exclusive relationship with Mr. Smith and even tried to have a baby together. But after you conceived your daughter, Kalani, Mr. Smith started denying your baby.
Yes, Your Honor.
You intend to prove he is the father today.
Okay, things get even crazier as Ms. Richardson says Mr. Smith actually begged her to have a baby with him because he thought he might not live long. This wild story is just getting started, and believe it or not, it's about to get even wilder.
Around the time we were together for about 8 months, he had told me he was in a situation where he didn't know if he were going to live a long time, so he had said he wanted a child with me. Me being young and dumb and I was actually in love with him, I agreed on it. We were together. I had left Job Corps, which he was still in. I left on the 28th. On the 31st, I had sent for him to come in town for the weekends.
Judge Lake has zero chill and jumps in right away to give Ms. Richardson some real talk. You just know the judge is about to drop even more truth bombs.
You cannot have babies by everybody you feel like you fall in love with. I can see, we about 3 minutes in, and I can see that you decided you had fallen in love with him And from there on, everything you heard come out his mouth, because he stood right here and the second thing out of his mouth was, I really wasn't trying to be with her that long, but if we wanted to have a baby and she wanted to do it, okay. Everything is so nonchalant.
Things go from sweet to awkward real fast. Ms. Richardson says she told Mr. Smith she was pregnant, and he was way too quiet on the phone. He kind of mumbled that he wanted to see the pregnancy test, but had doubts from day one, even though he says he was excited. Mr. Smith explains his mixed feelings, while Ms. Richardson says there was no way she cheated. Drama alert.
What was his reaction?
He was quiet on the phone and he had asked to see the pregnancy test.
And so, Mr. Smith, when you got this news that she was pregnant, was it the news you wanted to hear? Were you excited about having a baby?
I actually was excited.
At what point do you feel doubtful then?
I was doubtful at the first.
You were?
Yes, I was.
And now, Mr. Smith's twin sister, Brianna, steps in to pour some fuel on the fire. Things just got real messy.
She would say stuff that would make him feel even more like Kalani's not his daughter. I would hear voicemails. I would see messages.
And what did these voicemails say?
She was upset at him. She just was saying how Kalani was sitting. She was with another dude and she was smiling and she was happy about the person, basically insinuating.
In his lap.
Yeah.
Looked just like her.
Oh, here's a twist. Enter Mr. Brock, the Godfather, who's here to set things straight, or at least try to. But don't worry, it's about to get even more awkward.
What is your relationship exactly with Ms. Richardson?
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I would die for Brianna, and I'll take my last breath for that little girl up on the screen right there. And that's my goddaughter. And it's just because I've built that relationship with him that quick. We've told each other things that I have told nobody else.
Oh God, this is so exhausting.
So,
you all are all just kids.
Exactly.
And everything is so intense.
Next up, Ms. Bagley, the twins' mom, is here with her own roller coaster of emotions, saying she really wants Kalani to be her granddaughter. And if you think that's heartfelt, just wait until the DNA bombshell drops.
Do you believe Kalani is your granddaughter?
Yes, I do. They always did have problems, but I stayed neutral, you know, because I didn't want to get in between not seeing her because I'm on my son's side, but he was holding the baby and kissing on her. I'm like, I don't even know this guy. Do my son know this guy? If you're a godfather, why we don't know you?
Judge Lake calls for everyone to focus on Kalani, saying, all right, enough of this drama, let's get real. The room is silent as they prepare for the DNA results, and you can feel the tension.
You all have all been through a lot, and because of that, you all are taking actions, like I said, that really don't support Kalani. And in this moment, let's all just refocus as we go forward to these results.
Finally, the moment of truth.
It has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Smith.
Get ready, because this one starts off strong. Mr. Hunter opens the case with a big claim. He doesn't think he's the dad of Ms. Holden's son, Josiah. But Ms. Holden, she says she's 100% sure he's the dad. The stage is set for a wild back and forth.
Mr. Hunter, you opened your case in paternity court because you say there is no way you fathered the defendant's son. She's only saying you did because of the financial security you provide for her. Ms. Holden, you admit you were confused about your son's biological father because you were given incorrect medical information, but you are 100% certain Mr. Hunter is the father.
Brace yourselves, folks, because this guy's doing dad duties even with big doubts. Mr. Hunter explains he's been buying everything from diapers to baby clothes for Josiah. Things are getting complicated real quick, and this is only the beginning.
Because I take care of him financially, I do everything. Buy him diapers, milk, I buy clothes. Everything a father has to do to take care of a child, I do it.
So you pretty much stepped up as a father.
Yes, ma'am.
You have, but you have doubt. But Miss Holden, has he gotten emotionally attached to Josiah as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
So pretty much has accepted this child as his own?
Yes.
This story of how they got together has some interesting twists. Judge Lake thinks it's sweet, but we all know there's more to this romance than just cake and good deeds.
Well, we lived on the same street. I met him when I was 15. We both was in a relationship. Then we both became single. I invited him over to and he offered to pay for the booth at the party and offered to buy the cake.
Did you have any benefits in the back of your mind that you were looking to get later?
No, ma'am.
You didn't. Just a nice guy. Pleasant and refreshing, right, Jerome?
Hold up, they can't even agree on what happened the first night. Ms. Holden says they got cozy on her birthday, but Mr. Hunter says, nope, that didn't happen. If they can't even agree on this, it's gonna be a long, bumpy ride.
So at what point did you all turn this platonic friendship into a sexual relationship? Did you, what about dating? How did this happen?
The night of the party, we both was intoxicated.
Oh.
I invited him over,
Yeah, but that
and
night,
one thing led to another.
That night we didn't sleep.
Yes, we did, Your Honor.
So on the birthday night, you said you did have sex, and Mr. Hunter, you say you did not.
Yeah, we did that night.
Things are getting messy, folks. They argue about using protection. Hunter says yes, Ms. Holden says no. And wait until you hear about how she dropped the pregnancy news on him.
So were you having sex with protection?
No.
Here we go. You all haven't agreed on one thing yet. Who said yes?
She said no, I said yes, we were using protection.
No, we wasn't.
That's what we call reasonable doubt in a criminal court. So now listen, you're having sex. One says you're using protection, one says you're not. Are you having sex with anybody else?
When Ms. Holden tells Mr. Hunter she's pregnant, it's pure drama. Just when he thought things couldn't get worse, she tells him there might be another dad possibility. Get ready for a bombshell about the birth certificate.
So when you find out you're pregnant, you got one friend that you dating that Mr. Hunter is aware of, and now you've also made this friend, Mr. Hunter, into a sexual partner. When you get pregnant, who do you tell?
Mr. Hunter.
What happened?
I called him over, and he came over, and I was so sleepy, and he was like, you must be pregnant because I'm sick.
This is a real wait, what? Moment. Ms. Holden admits she put another guy's name on Josiah's birth certificate, even though Mr. Hunter has been the one paying for everything. And yep, we're about to dive into due date confusion.
Did you put Mr. Hunter's name on the birth certificate, Ms. Holden?
No, Your Honor.
Did anybody bring a copy of that birth certificate?
I have evidence.
I'd like to see that. This is Josiah's birth certificate?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hunter, is that your last name under?
No, ma'am.
Whose last name is that, Ms. Holden?
The other guy.
The other guy.
Oh, you think this story makes sense? Think again. It's like a math puzzle gone wrong, and the suspense just keeps climbing.
In November the 15th, this is when I slept with Mr. Hunter. I went to the doctor. My first due date they gave me was August 2nd. I went back to the doctor, and they gave me August 9th, and I slept with the other man on the 18th of November.
When you had the original due date,
It
for
led
you,
me
you
to
counted
believe,
back.
Yes, that Mr. Hunter was the father.
Grab a tissue, folks, because this part's kind of sweet. Mr. Hunter shares that he's grown attached to Josiah, who's just started calling him Dada. What he says next makes everyone's heart break a little more.
You know, Mr. Hunter, I can see this really bothers you.
I mean, it bothers me because I'm starting to get attached. He recently just started coming to me, so.
But you know this baby is coming to you because he thinks you are his daddy.
Right.
And you're starting to form a bond.
I mean, he recently just started calling me Dada, so, you know.
That's a beautiful thing when you hear a child say that.
Ms. Holden opens up about her own past, and things get real. Judge Lake gives her a soft look, knowing what's at stake, and the audience braces for the DNA results.
Because I grew up without a father. It affected me emotionally because I was into sports. I didn't have a father figure there to support me. And now I have a little boy that might be a football. He need a father there to support him.
And your fear is Mr. Hunter will leave or not be as present in this child's life if it's not his biological child?
Yes, Your Honor.
Talk about a jaw dropper.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Hunter, you are not the father.
Yes. Oh boy, you're not gonna believe what you're about to see here. She's hoping to save their family by proving he's the dad, while Mr. Cottle says if he isn't, he wants his name off the birth certificate ASAP. And trust me, this is just the warm-up.
Mr. Cottle, you say you're not a doctor, but when a woman is having sex with more than one man at the same time, the odds are against you. And once the results reveal you aren't the father, you want your name off the birth certificate.
Just when you think it can't get crazier, Ms. Wolf talks about her ex, Lucas, cheating on her with her friend. So she took it as her sign to get back at him. Trust me, things are only heating up.
We met on a dating site, and I moved in with him about a week after meeting him. 2 weeks in our relationship, I invited my friend to come hang out with me. While I was sleeping, I woke up and I went to the bedroom door. The door was locked, so I kept pounding on the door for them to open it, and I saw my friend's underwear on the floor. So right then and there, I knew that they had sex, and then I asked them. It was like, yeah, we did have sex, I'm sorry.
Just when you think there can't be more people involved, here comes Mr. Chittum, Ms. Wolf's ex-boyfriend, who's ready to tell his side of this tangled story. If you think it's a lot now, wait till you see what's next.
You were in a relationship with Miss Wolf first.
That is correct, Your Honor.
And you started a sexual relationship?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then she said she invited her friend to come, and you and the friend slept together.
That is correct.
So now how do you find out that Miss Wolf was then intimate with your friend, Mr. Cottle?
One of my friends texted me.
What did she say?
She was pretty much denying it all.
The judge pulls out some Facebook photos that make the whole thing even wilder. And yep, things just keep getting weirder from here.
Is the court uncovered a couple of Facebook photos. Now this is you, Ms. Wolf, kissing Mr. Chittum.
Yes.
And on the bottom of that screen, which you can't see, you were a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then we uncovered this photo. This is you and Mr. Cottle in pretty much the exact same pose, but a different team, because this one says Seattle Seahawks.
All right, so here's where things get real. Ms. Wolf tries to deny it, but the polygraph says otherwise, making Mr. Cottle wonder what else he might be missing. Just wait though, there's more to come.
Mr. Chittum, you met with a certified polygraph expert and you were asked the following question. Did you have sexual intercourse with Ms. Wolf during her pregnancy with Zane? You said yes. The lie detector determined you were being truthful.
Yes, that is truthful.
Only up till
I was
third
pregnant
month.
and you knew that.
Things take a cringe-worthy turn when Judge Lake reads some pretty spicy messages Ms. Wolf sent Mr. Chittum. Spoiler alert, it's about to get even messier.
So this message was from approximately 3 weeks ago. Are you joking me? He does nothing for you? God, he got me so angry. Come blank me. It doesn't say talk, but it says come blank me. He answers why, and you answer I need blank.
This next part has everyone in the courtroom's jaws dropping. Trust me, this story is one for the books, and there's still more to go.
So, Ms. Wolf, why are you so convinced Mr. Chittum is not Zane's biological father?
I have evidence.
Oh, you haven't. This conception calculator indicates you were ovulating between the 22nd and the 27th?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you tracked this. I mean, it is
I
possible
tracked it
for
and
a woman.
I planned it, yes.
Oh, you tracked it and you planned it?
Yes, because at the time I loved Lucas and I knew he couldn't have kids and I wanted us to have a family.
It's time for the DNA reveal, and no one's breathing in this courtroom. Judge Lake opens the envelope, and guess what?
It has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Cottle. You are the biological father.
Oh, buckle up, because this case is wild from the start. He's here asking for a paternity test to figure things out, but hold on to your popcorn. It's about to get even juicier.
Mr. Threlkeld, you state that while you were out of the country serving in the military, your wife paraded around town with other men, and she has admitted to cheating multiple times. You claim you are not sure if you are the father of her third child, 18-month-old Liliana, and have asked the court for a paternity test.
This story is so crazy it sounds made up, but here we go. While he was in Afghanistan, Mr. Threlkeld got a super random tip that his wife was stripping. And trust me, the courtroom isn't ready for what Mrs. Threlkeld has to say next.
Actually, ma'am, I was overseas in Afghanistan. A soldier of mine came up to me and tapped me on the boot and said, hey, I need to go outside. We need to talk right now. Me and him got into some words, so I thought we were gonna, settle it. Well, it turns out his wife and my wife were friends, and she had found out that she was actually stripping as we spoke. At the time, the internet lounge got on Facebook and asked her, hey, is it true you're doing what I told you I didn't want you doing at all?
Wait till you hear this. She says she wasn't doing anything wrong, and only started exotic dancing because her husband wasn't bringing in enough cash. Her reasons don't really make it better, and you just know things are about to get even messier.
First of all, we were done. He hacked my Facebook. He invaded my privacy. He looked into my stuff, into my messages.
So
that's how we found out.
What did he find?
There were messages, but
actually, ma'am, see, she's gonna.
No.
That's already a lie. I got on there, and on the inbox, I see, oh baby, I can't wait to see you later on tonight. I had a great time with you. I went together. It's been amazing.
These are the messages
yes,
you're
ma'am.
seeing.
And here's the part where they totally disagree on whether they were done or not. Just wait, because what he says next is about to make everything way more complicated.
You thought your marriage was over.
Messed up as it may be.
Yes.
Because you all had an argument about you stripping and you hung up.
We hung up and we said it was done because I wanted to do what I want to do.
Ma'am. You wanted to do what you wanted to do.
Exactly.
And why is it that you wanted to
because
strip?
we got married too young. Well, I needed to
She
because
wanted to be a hooker in training,
will
so
you
she'd
just
start
let
stripping?
me talk?
Well,
no.
Just when you think it can't get sadder, we find out about Mr. Threlkeld's heartbreaking return. His frustration only grows, and things are far from over as they head to the next explosive moment.
When I actually went out, the day I was supposed to come back home from overseas, we were told before we even got on the plane that the news was going to be there. I get there, and not my father, my mother, my wife, like I said, we'll quote that, weren't even there. They call everybody's names up, everybody's clapping and cheering, they come to my name, and it's just dead quiet. No one was there. So as everybody's getting ready to go home, I'm sitting there with my bags. I didn't even have a phone yet, so I couldn't even call her. I'm sitting there under a streetlight, army bag on one side and a suitcase on the other.
Now this part is straight out of a soap opera. He decides to call up the guy his wife's been chatting with, but it's not exactly the convincing response he was hoping for, and things just keep heating up with the next argument.
Because I saw the guy, she hadn't fully admitted that she's been seeing this guy, so I snatched the phone from her and I started going through it. There was a number that she'd called like 13 times. So I called him right back, and he answers the phone, hey, I said, who is this? Are you the one that's... And now Now, her defense, she starts laughing, saying, I knew he was just going to say that. He's just saying that to make you mad. And it was ridiculous. I mean, that was just the only defense.
So when he calls the guy on the phone, you deny.
In a what was he thinking kind of moment, Mr. Threlkeld reveals he thought a baby might actually fix things. His plan didn't go exactly as he thought, and now things are about to get even more awkward.
When I got back home, within those first week or two, we had sex like 4 or 5 times a day.
So you had it in your mind that if I get my wife pregnant, she'll stop stripping.
Roger,
because that's going to definitely
well, she
be
tells me
a
kind of like she
professional.
just said, kind of like how she just said, I'm gonna strip and I'm gonna do whatever I want because that's what I'm gonna do. I said, oh really? Okay, I'll give you a 9-month break on me. I mean, so.
Here's where the drama gets cranked up. He wanted her to take a lie detector test to settle his doubts once and for all. The shocking stuff just keeps coming as we finally get closer to finding out the truth about Liliana.
Mr. Threlkeld, you asked your wife to take a lie detector test at some point.
Before she came back, I said, look, you know, obviously the path we're going down right now isn't a good one. My insecurities, I'd like you to take a lie detector test. And she kept saying, oh yeah, it's fine, I'll do it, you know, no big deal. She starts, you know, getting nervous. I could start telling from body language and, you know, tone of her voice, she was getting nervous.
We don't need a lie detector test, we just need communication.
This is where it gets brutal. Mrs. Threlkeld admits there's only a 50-50 chance that Liliana is her husband's daughter. It's a super tense moment for everyone in the room, and just when you think you can't take any more, it's finally time for the big reveal.
Do you think, honestly, that he is the father of Liliana?
It could be a 50-50 chance, honestly.
Anybody got a quarter?
Do you understand that for a man, for any person, that would be really hard to accept? There is a part of me that listens to you both talk and sees that one, if not both of you, maybe still wants to make this work.
And here's the moment everyone's been waiting for.
Pertaining to 1-year-old Liliana, Mr. Threlkeld, you are Liliana's father.